everyone. My name is Zach.
My name is Jesse.
My name is Connor.
My name is Brian.
And we are the Boys of Ventura. We are now on our second episode of our podcast. If you haven't seen our first one, I recommend you do that so you get a glimpse of what we are like. Because we are not calm. Let's just say that. So it's December. Right now in California time, it's the 22nd. In about 2 days, it's going to be Christmas Eve. In 3 days, it's going to be Christmas Day. So just want to say from us, Merry Early Christmas. Hope you guys, hope you guys enjoy it.
Currently Saturday over here, so tomorrow is Christmas Eve for me.
Yeah.
Either way, it's still early Christmas for this podcast.
Yeah.
Hope y'all had a good week. Hope y'all are doing good. And thank you for tuning in for our podcast. And go ahead, Zach. Tell us our fucking topic of the day.
Real quick though, he is in Japan, so like they're like a day and a half ahead of us, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
17 hours ahead of y'all. So
yeah. So today's topic, it's actually been 6 years, believe it or not, guys, since the Thomas Fire was a thing. Wait.
Yeah, so basically, like, I don't know, because I was a sophomore at that time.
Yeah. Wait.
No, we were sophomores.
No, you were a freshman, bro, because we were sophomores at the time. Because I remember...
Is that how I started off my year? Fuck. I remember being a sophomore, that's why.
Well, to be fair, all of us didn't really get a chance to enjoy that year. It wasn't like... well, let me rephrase that. It wasn't that we couldn't enjoy it. It was just, out of all of our years, I would say that one would be the least adventurous. Wouldn't we agree?
Yeah.
You know why? It's because the middle part of the year. It's like right in the middle. It's not like it happened at the beginning of the year where you can just enjoy everything after, and it's not like it's like at the end where you can just enjoy what comes before, but it's like right in the middle where, it bridges part like the end of like the last couple months of 2017 and then the first half of 2018,
Exactly.
And then we had that brutal like effects after from like whenever we had mudslides because of like if you lived on an area that's like close to hills and like all the greenery turns into like just brown dirt, or like it gets all dry, and then like when the rain comes it gets all muddy and mudslides occur.
Definitely.
In a lot of areas.
I'm guilty of that. I live in an area where that is like so popular. It's actually so popular to the point where like where we have what you call it, right now it's like rainy weather for us, so they've been closing roads down leading up to hills to where I'm at, so it's just really popular for me.
Yeah, and then we also had like a little effect like that, like in the middle of the year, like COVID was like literally in the middle of the year as well.
Wasn't as big as like the Thomas Fire, but it was definitely noticeable, I would say.
No, it was noticeable, yeah.
It made us not go to school for nearly a month.
Yeah, like literally none of us went to school for a whole month, and it actually took a big chunk of our year, or I'm sorry, yeah, of our year out.
Yeah.
And that's why I said in there earlier that it wasn't as like adventurous, but yeah.
The pandemic, the COVID pandemic.
It was like a warm up to like COVID in a way, if you hear me out on this. Like, we had to evacuate, we had to like be courteous of like what's around us, like fires and shit, like be careful of our surroundings. And I feel like that kind of helped us with COVID a little better, even though COVID is a little different, it definitely was like a lead up, I feel.
It's kind of ironic how in one situation you're told to get out of your house and evacuate once like shit hits the fan with all the fires, and then with COVID they tell you to stay at home.
Right.
Evacuate. Yeah.
Yeah, they tell us to stay inside and wear a mask.
Mm-hmm. If anything, it was an appropriate time to wear it year-round smoke.
I don't know about you guys, but I always thought it was like really weird that people would wear masks in their cars, and I actually still see it to this day.
Oh my god, I
And
think it's weird too.
I-
I mean, you're in your own car, your own space, you know what I mean?
I've seen it during like the Thomas Fire too. Like people in Ventura, I'd see them with masks on. I'm like thinking to myself, what are you guys doing? Like this isn't. You guys aren't really doing anything other than you're tasting your own breath practically. Like you can still get a virus. You can still smell the fire. Like what's even the point? You know?
Yeah.
But sorry. Anyways, so like I said, our topic is the Thomas Fire. As we just dug into that a little bit, we'll talk about COVID another time. But I feel like Thomas Fire is more of our episode topic.
Just any experiences with fires that came after that.
Yeah.
After that Thomas Fire, we kind of had a lot of that as like traditional fire season, where we knew it would kind of happen.
Exactly.
They had a lot of things.
Exactly.
Like they weren't as big as Thomas Fire. Just like how we said the mudslide wasn't like as big as Thomas Fire, but like they were kind of noticeable, you know. But who would like to go on their personal experience with the Thomas Fire first? Like who would like to tell their part?
Would you want to go first, Zach?
Yeah, okay. So I was in wrestling in high school. So was Jesse and Brian. But I was like varsity top contender. I just lost my match like a week or two ago, and we were just getting ready for our next tournament. And my coach told me that we were going to Newberry. And I was getting all hyped up. It was like a day before it too. And I go to bed. I wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning, and I couldn't even see anything around me. Like it was pitch black, fucking pitch black. And I'm thinking my eyes won't open. Like I actually thought my eyelids were still closed. Like that's how fucking dark it was. And I tried looking for the light and shit. I fucking fell out my bed. I finally found the door. I go outside, and I see there's kind of like a smoke in the air a little bit, but like not too noticeable because it's dark time, so you're not gonna see it as much as like in the daytime. So I wake my mom up, and I'm telling her, hey, look, there's smoke outside, and the electricity's out, and
Yeah.
it sucked too, because this literally happened the same day I was supposed to go to a tournament. And this could have been a good indicator of me being a varsity guy. But yeah, that happened. And we got Amber Alert like right within that hour. And we were both scared shitless, because there was smoke in the air coming from like Ojai. Because I think it started from like Santa Paula, didn't it?
Santa Paula.
Yeah.
It was at the Thomas Inquis College.
Yeah, and
Yep.
yeah, so it started in Santa Paula, made its way through Ojai.
Made my way by my home as well.
Yeah, like it went through Ventura. I think some of it went towards like Camarillo, but wasn't as bad. But like I know Santa Barbara got worse. But anyways, yeah, so we saw that, and it got more daytime, and we saw how bad it was, and we decided we need to evacuate like right away, because it was getting pretty bad, and like Amber Alerts weren't stopping. I had a dog named Marley. She was a German Shepherd. She passed away like 2 years ago. But she was fucking huge, and we had to bring her with us to go down to Ventura, with my grandparents. And we had to stay at my grandparents for like a month due to the Thomas Fire, because they were in where I'm from. It was in like unsafe condition, and like the breathing quality was bad, and yeah, it was pretty bad up there. It was a good call because like I had to stay down there for a month. My grandpa, I'm sorry, not my grandpa, my great grandpa, who also passed away 2 years ago. He was the former mayor of Ojai. If you guys didn't know that, back in like the 70s, 80s. He doesn't know how to take care of himself. He didn't know how to take care of himself, so we had to like escort him down as well. So like it was like 5 people in one house, and it was pretty bad. And
that was pretty bad.
yeah, it was pretty bad, man. And like you said earlier, that there was no school, because even where we went to school, Ventura High, it was unsafe breathing quality. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was most of the time it was just staying at the my grandparents' house in east of Ventura. But about a month passes, and we head back to the house. It's better quality, not the best, but like it's outside's all foggy and shit. It kind of reminded me of Call of Duty World at War Zombies, like in a way. Like it was literally giving me that fucking vibe.
No, it didn't look like it looked like the fog in transit at least.
In a way, I guess, but like I would say in the middle, but I'm talking like at the end when we had like go back like a month after. This was like almost January. It was like foggy, like white foggy. So yeah, earlier though, I definitely agree with you. It did remind me of that too a little bit, now that I think of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's my story, and I just remember going back to high school one of the days slowly. I think, if I remember correctly, weren't class periods like shortened because of it?
Oh yeah,
I heard that. I think so. And then they also had to like, of course, push back the dates we'd usually do our finals for the semester.
Yeah, and we
Like,
kind
do it
of.
in February instead of January, for example.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was something like that, because like I remember going into my junior year, and I heard that we got like finals, but they're in January. I'm like, wait, this isn't right. Aren't they usually in February?
Yeah, it's like, and then they also like, I remember they cut some of like the weeks where they would use for us to like prep us for our finals too. Like some assignments were skipped, and they had to be, considering that they weren't gonna like extend the classes one more month. We got
Yeah,
out at like the regular time.
and I think that was during my sophomore year. Like I said, I didn't really get to wrestle that much.
Yeah, I must have been a freshman. I don't know. It was like, I don't know. It was back in, I think it was 2017. Yeah, I was definitely a freshman.
Yeah, you were a freshman,
Yeah, I was
because
definitely a freshman. For
we
sure.
met that summer, but
Yeah, we met the summer before. Yeah, no, that's when our great friendship began, bro.
agreed, bruh. Don't regret it. It's been like a fucking
Exactly, bro.
8 years
If you wanna
almost,
look it up
bruh.
right now too,
No.
Thomas Fire. Look at the images, bro. Like you'll see how big this wildfire was, because there's pictures like on like the satellite view how fucking like smoky it was.
Yeah,
Either
bro.
way.
This was the most attention Southern California has ever gotten. Like,
Oh yeah,
it was really
especially
big.
our town. Our town.
Um,
And it became
Any-
like that after,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
started paying attention more. And then even like with our fire department, like we weren't really kind of the main reason why this happened is because our county fire department wasn't prepared, and they weren't really trained pretty well, and then so they had to continue with more training and better equipment after that.
I feel like it's more of a equipment thing, more than like trained thing.
And there was speculation too about whether or not Edison electricity was involved.
It
To help they manage their job.
I've been told, and I've seen news articles before that I'm not sure if it's like true or not. Like, there's so many rumors that go out. Like, I've heard one where some dumb fuck was starting a barbecue in the middle of the forest, or like he said, SoCal Edison, one of their power poles just gave up and it ignited a fire out of nowhere. Like it's just you never know what it is, but I all these rumors lead up to like a good story of how people will keep this in their minds forever. And I
Is that how
know,
it started? Some dude fucking did a barbecue or some shit.
yeah, well, that was a rumor.
That was rumor.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it was like a rumor online too. Like this was like personal views of people saying what they think happened. Cause like
I just looked it up. It says power lines owned by
yeah,
Southern California Edison. So
yeah.
it was
Well, yeah,
phone
yeah,
call, I
yeah.
guess.
Like we know SoCal definitely did it, but like back then, no one had no information because, well, they're not gonna really pay attention to it because they're trying to fucking survive. But
Mhm.
they found out like probably months later that it was definitely SoCal.
Yeah. All right.
No
Do
wonder
I go off
electricity was so
my
cheap.
for real?
Right?
Do I go off of my story now? Right.
I did want to add something real quick.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Like I said about my wrestling career, you know, Jesse, Brian were both in it. My sophomore year was definitely my shortest year to like wrestle. I think I only got to do 3 tournament. No, like one tournament, and then the rest were duels. And if you guys don't know what duels are, they're like 1v1 teams. So like for example, Ventura High and Buena, you know, those are duels. Like we go by weight class, so like 105s, 113s, 126. Like you get the point.
Yeah.
So like we only had like 3 of those, one tournament, and we had a league. But I was JV by then. But yeah, my career was very short that year, and it just sucked. I did wish that I could have it better, like I did my junior and senior year.
Yeah.
But I did place 5th at CIF in the inland division, and yeah, it was pretty cool. Jesse, would you like to go with your story?
Yeah. So, as we know, back in 2017, I was a freshman. Met Zach before that, but either way,
Yes, sir.
when shit went down, well, let's see what I can remember. I was living in the Avenue. It's a little uh town, mainly you know about in Ventura, where I used to live at now. My house is in the east side, but either way,
Traitor.
yeah, fuck you.
I
Either
would
way,
say that too, given that you went to Japan.
Yeah, literally.
literally, all right. Nah,
Betrayed both of us, bruh.
Zach, that's one
no,
thing
I'm
you
in
gotta
Japan
know.
for the right reasons, all right. They're not for the bad reasons. Either way, what I remember was back then, right there, living in Ventura Avenue, and I was I remember just getting up to I was using the restroom in the middle of the night or something, and or like the power was out actually no, the first things first, power went out. There we go. And then we're about to go to bed either way, so yeah, we're going to bed. And then freaking I think I somehow couldn't sleep or something like that. I don't know. I remember just waking up and we just see fucking outside our fucking windows like we see a fire in the distance. Like, oh shit, like there's a fire. Fucking we don't know freaking if it's gonna come closer, but hopefully they put it out by the morning or something, you know. And we heard this fire was getting bad and stuff, and then we go to bed and we wake up. Or my dad wakes up and then he sees how bad it got and how close it's getting to our house. So we fucking evacuated that shit like a motherfucker. The building I stayed at, we had like we were able to see it because the mountain view was like right there, and like we can hear the fire roaring. How fucking bright, how smoky it was. Like literally, like even though like the mountain range was like not even a mile away from us. It was like less than a mile, and we can hear that fire roaring, and it was so pretty scary. It looked like it was like the end of the world type of deal, you know.
Hmm.
And then We evacuated immediately, and we went to my cousin's house. We would stay there for most of the time. Maybe go back to the house if we need stuff, even though it was a mandatory evacuation area. But went to the my cousin's house. He lived in Montalvo, so it was away from the fire, and you know, and it was one of my top. It's my older cousin Jacob. So you guys know him. I think you guys met him. Have you guys met him? Yeah,
I think once or twice.
yeah. I think in the Thanksgiving. I don't know if you saw him.
Probably.
Either way,
Yeah.
yeah. Either way, yeah, I stayed at his house, and he had an Xbox 360. So, freaking, and I haven't played, Call of Duty in a while. I haven't seen anyone play Call of Duty for a while because I hadn't have a console yet. It was before I got a console, and I was still thinking about which one I wanted. Between PlayStation and Xbox. Luckily, I went with the right choice because all y'all have an Xbox.
Fuck
So,
PlayStation.
fuck PlayStation for real, man. Either way,
PlayStation
man, I
is
grew
for
up playing
fat.
PlayStation. PlayStation this, PlayStation that. PlayStation, please. Could a PlayStation borrow a fly? Either way, he had an Xbox 360, and we were just playing games because there was no school, nothing to do. And um, we were playing just BO2 Zombies, and I was like, oh shit, I haven't fucking played this game in a minute. We were just playing zombies, and this is why I first got introduced with, Treyarch and its lore, how like the storyline goes. Like, I was now I've that's why I figured out what he would teach me what like the strategies of zombies, what perks to get, this and that. So that's where gaming was a little bit more introduced in my life, and I chose Xbox when fucking got into fucking that shit again. 'Cause I had a Wii, bro. I mean Nintendo. I love Nintendo, bro. Nintendo's like the shit. But freaking I wanted like an Xbox or something that everyone has,
Yeah.
Yeah. But we were just at my cousin's house freaking majority of the month until we were able to go back home and whatnot. The aftermath looked very bad. Man, we were looking at the mountains and see how black it was because of the ash and what it burned. And funny enough, we have a monument, the cross. That's one of our historic landmarks for Ventura, and I mean, funny enough, it did not get burned.
Yeah.
So and my dad told me that's like a sign from God,
Oh, God, it's
Definitely.
good to stay up there.
Definitely. And then you're able to see the cross now after the trees burned. So you're able to see if you were to look up the hill in the right angle, in a good angle, you would see, the cross.
Can I just pause you there real quick? I just want to relapse on that God thing too.
Yeah.
Like I said, my house was on a hill as well, and the fire was going through like where I'm from, so like through Ojai, and then it went through Ventura. The hill, like if you go to my backyard, my backyard's right there, and then like when you look down through the fence, you'll see like the road. Then on the other side is another hill full of houses. That hill was on fire, but mine wasn't. So
After that,
I feel like that was like gracing from like a grace from God himself.
Yeah.
Like we believed in him so much that he honestly thought that we had like a lot of potential. We thought that we were worth it, So
Yeah,
I can actually simplify like what Jesse was saying there. Anyways, go ahead. My bad, bro.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, God works in mysterious ways.
Definitely.
And now like after like all these years, all this rain and this, now the greenery in there, up in the hill, it just looks beautiful now. And then like when you go up to the cross.
Definitely.
Out there, it's just now it's all green in the area where it was burnt, and it looks beautiful now. And then like you can see the view of Ventura now much better than with the trees blocking the way, I guess you could say. And like you can see the whole fairgrounds, you can see the pier, you know, fucking Crown Plaza Hotel, you freaking you name it, you can see the avenue, and you can see all the way towards the a little bit towards the east end. But yeah, I mean
Definitely.
it was pretty cool, you
It's
know. I
like if
mean,
you're in Mario World and you go to that binoculars flying fairy guy, you that's literally what it feels like. Like you
literally,
see everything just like how you would in Mario World. That's how cool it
yeah,
was.
exactly, exactly. But I mean, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, I was starting my wrestling career. Well, I started back in middle school, so you know, my dad got me into it, so I freaking it was pretty short, but I mean I remember what my coach said, you know, freaking there's the 4 different years: survive, learn, win, and dominate. And freaking it was my year of surviving. But I mean I didn't get much time on the map, but I did a lot of like learning in the so, I mean,
That's
I
all
went
that matters,
varsity.
bro.
Yeah, and I went varsity, I think, my sophomore year. So I mean I got my V for sophomore year. So
Hell
I mean
yeah,
I
bro.
attended CIF duels before COVID. And sadly we lost, but we were stacked with a good team for sure. We were
That was a
we
pretty
were
good year for
undefeated
us.
for yeah, no, we were undefeated for a couple years actually, for league at least.
Yeah, definitely.
We were
Speaking of
stacked
which,
with like yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we were just stacked those past couple of years, you know.
Yeah, speaking of which, this is a lead up to that. Our girls team last year, well, I would say kind of this year, but like this is a new school year, so like 2022 to 2023, we did pretty good on the girls team.
Yeah, they
So
took
if you guys
CIF.
are watching this, congratulations. Definitely represented us very well.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I visited the school. I mean, the boys team and the girls team have grown big ever since freaking we left. So that's like tight as fuck, and they're dominating this year too. So I'm fucking happy about that. You know, supporting
Yeah, definitely, bro.
fucking alumni wrestlers. You know,
Hell yeah, bro.
I mean, this ends my part of my Thomas Fire story. I mean, there's not. I mean, I don't think there's anything I need to add, but if I do, I'll
Yeah.
just briefly interrupt. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I mean that's my little experience, Thomas Fire, and what I went through as a freshman.
Yeah, bro. That
Yeah.
definitely put a hole in all of us, like I said, and it definitely seems like it kind of did the same with you.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, but you know what? Now that I think of it, if it wasn't for the Thomas Fire, I don't think you would have gotten into like Call of Duty, like how you are right now. You know,
Oh yeah, no, for sure, dude.
because like you said, you were just saying that you were playing with your cousin on BO2 Zombies and just witnessing like what it was playing it. Like I feel
Yeah,
like,
me and him were doing split screen too. It was fun, like
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and then like see my cousin too, you know, my older cousin, you know. But now
yeah,
we still play and shit. But I mean, I
right.
would not be as big as into it. I probably would have gone into like other people, like people were saying like Six Siege and shit, bro. I'm like, all right, yeah, like those games look pretty cool, but I mean, I like Call of Duty way better.
Yeah, definitely. Um, Connor, would you like to
I'll
go
go
next,
next.
sir? Yeah, okay.
Of course. Fix it.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, 6 years. That just flew by pretty quickly, and that's
It
around the time we
does.
would get to know each other a little bit, and then we all tried out for wrestling. I know that was um, pretty big classes. I know they do a lot of good training there, since Ventura High was in an area where they had a lot of rich people that would could obviously pay taxes for a school like that where they're able to like train people good.
Definitely.
And they would definitely because like when I went in there to try out, I would see how disciplined they were all are. But anyways, so yeah, with my story, I remember when I was living in an area kind of above Foothill in Ventura. Um, they usually call it, like, the Ondalondo area, and I think on that Monday when I first started, um, I got a notice from one of my brothers, who was in Fillmore at the time, noticed the fire and the smoke, and then they told my family about that. And at that time, the wind, which was a key factor in the fire as well, was blowing pretty fast. There was gusts blowing pretty hard. I think it was almost like 40 or 50 mile per hour wind. And like if you were to try to go to sleep and like if the window shut, you could still hear it, and it would be so noticeable you just wouldn't be able to sleep. So like when I was trying to do that, which was on a school night, I would try to go to bed early. I couldn't sleep because of the wind. So eventually, like out of boredom, I came to look at my phone, which I had on the charger to charge overnight, and the charger wasn't working. And I came to the conclusion that the power wasn't working because nothing was working. And I realized that the wind is still howling, and that I know that there's a fire out there. And then later, um, I hear this person come up with fire trucks, and they're speaking through the microphone, telling us to evacuate. And I look out there,
Oh,
the entire
wow.
mountain on the other side of like where I was staying at was engulfed in flames, and you could smell the smoke. The winds are going by pretty quickly, and I had to evacuate. And me and my family got out within 10 minutes. We got in the car. The street that we were staying at in was the second street away from like just like like where it's just mountains. So when we got down there, eventually it got pretty hard to get out because our area is kind of like isolated from a lot of Ventura. Like it's still Ventura, but like there's no like shopping areas, there's no schools, there's like no churches, no parks, no none of that, just houses. And once we would get down there, I would look around me like there was a traffic jam and we couldn't go anywhere. And I would just, once we were going downhill, I would just look back and I would see the smoke getting closer to where we're at. Like it starts from the mountain and it's going down there because where the wind's pushing it. And that was the first night we stayed at a hotel in Carpinteria, I believe, on the first night. And we weren't gonna obviously stay there for a long time, but
Wait, Carpinteria?
yeah,
Wait, so you
yeah,
like went up north to stay at a?
yeah.
Was it the
That was
one?
my
Was it the one by the beach?
by the beach. Yes, I believe so.
Huh.
The reason for this is literally no other area, no other hotel or inn in Ventura could take us in because the instinct everyone else had was to go to that place.
Yeah, yeah.
So we would go to there, stay there overnight, and this is where I couldn't really decide from here, like to this day, like whether or not the first night or the second night of the fire was the scariest. Um,
Right, right.
that brings me to the second night, which honestly, if the events of the second night happened on the first night, I think the first night wouldn't be as scary because it's mostly scary just because like, I've lived
Unexpected.
in Ventura for a long time. It's pretty calm, and then this wildfire happens that kind of has some knock-up effects for Ventura. But on
Yeah.
the second night, we wake up in Carpinteria, and we drive around Ventura for a little bit just to kind of see what's become of Ventura for now. And then we end up staying at someone's house in like on the way to Carpinteria. Not actually, yeah, I guess you'd consider it like around Rincon Beach where they have all the little beach houses. I remember we went there one time. That was
The one I
great
took
time
you
to
guys
sports and
to.
that. Hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But we stayed at someone's house, and I don't know why, but my most of my family, except for my brother and I, thought that we were going to be safe there. And I remember like we were the only people that weren't 21. So I mean, we kind of just showed out there, and we didn't drink, but we were kind of like on relatively high alert, because like the fire was kind of it got around Ventura, but like as Zach said, it went to other places like Camarillo or all the way up to Santa Barbara. So you could see it, behind the mountains from where Rincon Beach is, and I would look out there constantly several times. I know it's still windy as fuck, But then once it gets closer, like I see this red glow uh, in the mountains, and my brother see it too. We both tell our family, and at that point they're drinking a little bit, they're kind of buzzed, and they're just having dinner, chilling, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have to go anywhere. There's nothing to worry about." And then as time passes, it gets closer, and then eventually we get told to evacuate because, like, oh my goodness, that fire's getting closer. It's big, and we're just kind of rolling our eyes. But at that point, we all get in, and it's almost too late for us to exit because once we get in, the fire goes from like just being like a red glow like on the mountains by Rincon Beach to like making its way all the way down the mountain and towards like the highway. So literally, like we leave the beach house and we have to go on a super long ass drive from Carpinteria, and we end up actually going all the way to Burbank that night. But once we get on there, the fire has already made it to like the highway, and the roads themselves are actually kind of becoming engulfed in flames.
Yeah.
And like the little barrier between like both directions when you're going on Carpinteria, that's engulfed in flames. So my dad's driving us like he's merging onto the freeways, and he's getting very close to the flames. And I legit almost thought we were gonna like lose our lives at that point because we were going by it, and the fire was just like right next to us. But thankfully we made that
Damn.
alive. Yeah, it was intense. That's
You guys must have been really scared by then, huh?
I know. I was
I
like,
mean, who wouldn't
wow,
be
is this
scared?
Yeah, bro, that shit's intense. Fuck.
And we make it out of it. And then the rest of the trip isn't fun, but it's not as scary as that moment. Honestly, I'd say the entire day that time like wasn't as scary if you could take out like aside from that moment because the first night I was kind of on the like in suspense because I thought, oh, when are we gonna get out of my home? And then that
Yeah.
second night, it's just, oh, we're somewhere we shouldn't be, and obviously. And then once we get out, it becomes scary because we almost died. Like
Yeah, definitely.
there's no way to like misinterpret that, but eventually we get out of Carpinteria, we make it away from the flames, thank God, and we make it all the way to from Carpinteria to Burbank.
Carpinteria the Carpinteria. What a coincidence.
We stayed at a hotel there, and then at that point, like if we couldn't go to sleep, we would just check the news and see what they were talking about, and we would notice that the fire had little to no containment for a while, and that's how it was for a long ass time. And then the rest of the experience while being with the Thomas fire raging on wasn't as scary. It was just kind of boring because I knew that we weren't allowed to go back to school for the rest of the year, which kind of sucked to not be able to see anyone.
It did, honestly.
And
Like,
then
go ahead, sorry.
no, you're good. But I know that like different people were affected by it in other ways after that because for my dad's house, he couldn't live there for roughly a couple weeks because his house is on a hilly area, and that part was actually very like it was close to the fires because the fires came down that area. And
Yeah.
in his backyard, there's like you'll see the hills where like you were to go over there, and then it'll go to this fence that's kind of worn out, where animals like to kind of roam around there. And then there's another fence from there that's still like part of his property. That you would just climb up there, and it just has like a lot of plants and a lot of like water sprinklers. And then there's a brown fence that's painted brown, but it's metal. But anyways, the fire went over that hill to where that worn-out fence was, and it just barely stopped right there, and it almost like it just missed the house too, because we weren't really sure if our house was gonna stay there because a lot of houses in our area got burned down, and it was just kind of devastating to see. Like some people I knew, some of my childhood friends just kind of like had to move because of that.
Right.
And just to kind of like see that, we thought, oh, is our house gone too? And then our neighbor takes a picture of the house, and then we see it, like that's the fire, like that's where it stopped. And it's such a close call, too many close calls
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
so many
But
close calls, bro.
and then once
Claws?
you go back, obviously you just smoke
Heavy
everywhere
claws.
because we were given a day, I think the week after the fire, or the Sunday of the week the fire started, to go back for like an hour and just retrieve anything we couldn't retrieve on the first night, any belongings, because we knew that we weren't going to be there for a while. We went on like some bus and they took us there and left us for an hour and picked us up. One thing that we did too is that we took out everything that was in the fridge. All the stuff that you would have to keep refrigerated in there because they were going to shut the power off when we couldn't live there. And when you turn the power off, then the refrigerator isn't working, and that's when food starts to go bad. So that's what we did, because we wouldn't want to come back to a house that has bad food in the fridge and freezer that didn't work. So we had to go on run to Costco once we were allowed back to like replace everything that was there.
Right.
And then after that, we eventually came back in a couple weeks, and then a month later, in January of 2018, the fire goes out. But every like November, December, like I would remember like when it would just get very windy, and I'm sure a lot of people's like instinct was to just think of the Thomas fire, like, oh, is this gonna happen again?
Yeah.
I remember one time too, like my dad's house, and I was sleeping there. I think at like 2 or 3 in the morning, they saw like a very small fire, kind of like where the telephone pole is, and the little white like little thing where it's like connected to the telephone line. That's for like, you'll see it on telephone poles, but like that part was on fire. It was like a small fire, and I think it must have been from like the wind or either from like wood burning. So they had the fire department come and look at it, and thankfully nothing happened, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like that part where they kind of like connects the lines to the wood, like that part was on fire for a little bit. Um, and then, whenever something does happen, like a fire, obviously it's not as scary, it's just annoying to have the power cut off. But I know that like sometimes in our area they won't they're kind of mixed in terms of like how well they do with like managing fires, like in the forest, or when they practice like preparing for one, or like when they try to like clear out a lot of brush, because that's kind of crucial too. Um, and then as of recently, a couple weeks ago, I believe, um, I was staying somewhere else, but I woke up to a fire that was in Somis. And I believe some people said it was a brush fire. I'm not 100% on whether or not it was that, but there was a small fire that started out in that area, and it got a little big. Um, and it was in an area where it was kind of hard to like maintain. But the whole sky was this on like the east side of Ventura, and from up to Somis, which is pink, and you can smell the smoke. And I remember driving to work and getting off like around nighttime, and coming back through headed on Ventura, and just seeing that mountain from Ventura, just like still the mountains were like engulfed in flames because the fire wasn't put out yet, because that's how bad it was. But I mean, it's just kind of amazing how like you can just go to sleep, and then like you can wake up to that fire, and then oh, is it gonna get closer to you? And then you just see it happening, and you kind of think, oh, what if something like this was gonna happen again? Something that happened 6 years ago. But they
Right.
eventually put it out. And thankfully no one's power got off in where I was at.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I'd say that we're more prepared in that sense. We've kind of had a better sense of awareness, not just us, but also like people that work in the fire department themselves and do a good job at it.
You reacted in the right zone to the point where you thought of family first, and like you guys even went like a city away, which was very smart. And even though it was like quick thinking, if you think about the pros of that, you're by a beach which has an ocean, so like that, there's water. So honestly, that was a really good call by you guys.
I agree. We just didn't know that it would be going over up the mountains.
Yeah.
When we saw it, some of us were prepared to leave and some of us weren't, which kind of like delayed it and made things a little worse for when we did get out.
Yeah, definitely. It we were a lot of us were like scared that it would destroy a lot of our properties, but thankfully for what I'm getting, it didn't destroy a lot of houses. But I know like 2 or 3 people from VHS that had their houses like totally burnt down because of the fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I felt so bad for them because like losing maybe possibly your childhood house itself is definitely a bad intake, and hopefully they can rebuild it, hopefully not, but like you got to think about the insurance, like the homeowners insurance. And homeowners insurance goes off of like shit that happens, like disasters, natural disasters, or like what we're talking about, fires. And now they gave us a little break, which I would say honestly has been the best thing California has done so far in the past 20 years. But now it's like biting us in the ass again. So homeowners insurance is definitely kicking us in the ass again. But yeah. You can go on, sir. My bad.
I'm just happy that like even like that second night, like obviously I'm not able to like tell which night was scarier for me based up for like different reasons, but if I didn't make it to the second night, then I wouldn't see you guys again, and I would have never met Jesse. So thank God for that.
Well, all is good then, right? Life is fucking awesome.
Like, wow, what a way to end 2017.
Definitely, bro. Like, your life is like 50-50 at that moment, and then you guys thought your way out of the fire strategically, and it was very good.
Yeah.
Turned out really good, because obviously you're on the podcast with us, so
Sir.
yeah. Yes, sir, indeed.
Brian, do you want to finish up?
Yes, sir. Brian, we would love to hear your side of the story.
Well, let's see. So far I can remember is I was showering. When I got done, I saw like some wet sparks or wet fire, like fireworks shit. I thought, shit, it's like 4th of July. And when I finally like drying up, the power went out. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Then I went outside. I thought like, shit, is there like another like lava spill like last time?
Yeah.
On like, oh shit, there's a lot more fire burning out than usual. Like,
Yeah.
and I got like a alert from my phone.
Yeah, we all did.
That shit.
Just crazy.
Then we all like get the fuck out of Ventura and head to our cousin's house over there at Capital.
Oh, so you went to Carpinteria as well?
Yeah. Did not know
Should've
Connor
hit
was
me
there.
up.
OMG. We like totally could have like hit the beaches and shit.
Yeah.
There you go, swim with the whales, huh?
Nah, I'm not like that, so not my style.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, go on with your story, bro.
Then we were watching the news, like that shit like turning up. And the weirdest thing that The next day was supposed to be one of our tournaments, like the
Right.
TBOV league.
Right.
Then we stayed there for a bit, you know. Then my dad finally got like a call from his coworker saying that we could crash into one of the studio apartments that he was working at. So we crashed there for like about a week. Then Johnny and my dad went out for a bit, you know, get some like air freshener or whatever that shit, like fans, or blow up the ashes around inside our house. I don't know what they were doing. And then that's it.
I mean, explain like what else you went through, or I know you crashed into another place, but like, were you anyway like close to the fire? You know, close to
Oh no, we
I don't know,
crashed over
dying or
there at
something.
Oxnard.
Oh, okay, so you were way away from the fire. Okay.
Yeah,
Oxnard, you said?
yeah, Oxnard.
Oh, okay.
Glad you were. Glad
Was-
you were safe,
It's
man.
just near
Yeah,
the-
definitely. Was the fire like near you guys though at all? Like,
No,
could you guys
we
see it?
could, like see it.
Oh, okay.
All we could see like ash, and, like the clouds. Yeah, it was sort of near where Seabass used to live, but
Oh, okay.
before the-
Yeah. So like, Rose area, the street.
Yeah. Well, it sort of been more like
Yeah,
farther
the
down
street.
to the.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you guys were definitely away from it because like what Connor was saying and like how I was saying, it was definitely more on hills than it was like near residential areas on like flat ground.
Yeah, and then you literally live close to the mountains too. You know.
Yeah.
Near where I live, and literally the mountains right there is just down the street. I'm like I said earlier too. The mountains are not. It's less than a mile away from us. It's like literally right there. You can hear the
Exactly.
fire roaring and shit.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
The fire was so big, like when it was barely starting to come down the hill, you can hear the fire roaring. So like, you know, when it got closer, of course it got louder. But
So
you guys know what
like
I
your
mean.
ex.
Huh?
Damn.
Confused. I don't know how you burned me on that, but I. What I right? When I say that, I'm confused, but I.
Just like your dating life.
Whoa.
Damn, bro, you really took a turn on that.
Yeah, but now Brian definitely took a turn on his life because now he's not straight no more, you know?
Fuck yeah.
Mm.
Well, yeah, I guess we can all say safely that, you know, after the fire happened, we all adapted security, to, like, make sure that we're all safe and, you know, if we smell smoke, it's obviously not going to be something good.
Yeah, of course. You know, nothing
So
that
much
good.
Smokey the Bear help you out.
Well, the only good smoking is weed, alright? That's the only good smoke you smell.
Yeah, for sure.
Bitch, you in the Marines now. You can't smoke that shit.
I know, but I'm just
You
saying,
wish.
all that shit,
You
that
can't
ain't
put that
bad,
out
you know?
there.
Only one of us
Yeah.
could.
Not good, dude.
I think you meant 3 of us can, but 2 of us will.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
Well,
But they got the wrong guy in there.
right, definitely. Well, you know, like I said, we were just talking about, you know, the fires. I am glad that you all are alive right now, because, you know,
You guys.
even though I at least that was what I've known from, no one has died from the fire. That could be inaccurate or not, but like I don't know for sure, but I'm just glad you guys are alive, and you know, just like how we're doing the episode right now, we're still talking, you know. Even with Jesse going to Japan, it's still kind of a stretch out there, but you know, we still don't let that interfere with the boys being the boys, you know? And that's why we're called the boys of fucking Ventura.
Yes, sir.
You better not kill a dolphin over there, Jesse.
That's a South Park reference if you guys don't
Or
you guys don't get it out there.
Fuck you, dummy! Well, that was a more friendlier way of saying it, but I would say don't kill a dog.
Yo,
No, that's
yeah.
yeah. Oh wait,
That was
they eat it.
China, but I.
Well, you know, it's kind of like comparing USA to Canada. Like, they would honestly see us as the same.
Yeah.
In a way, I guess. Like, yeah.
Yeah, would you say eight? No, I'm sorry.
A bitch. But yeah, you know, it's cool having you guys as friends. And I'm glad.
Yeah, of course.
I'm glad this fire somehow made us more closer, because like we realized that friendships are limited, and you know, even something as small as a fire could ruin it because of, like, you know, people can burn or just die from them, or that it could change their ego sets, like right there and then, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm glad you guys are in my life.
Wow.
And it's really cool that we got to discuss this as a conversation, because you know, I've never personally heard your guys' like experiences from the Thomas Fire, and I'm sure hopefully that you guys were like the same about my experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess now would be the perfect time to call it an end, because it is almost like an hour long. Like I said, you know, the Thomas Fire was pretty big. I would like to thank the Ventura County fire community to help us through this. The fire stations throughout Ventura County, you know, you guys are awesome. You guys definitely helped us through this. You know, the sheriffs and cops that were helping people out of this shit in Ventura County.
First responders.
First responders, exactly. Like, you know, you all are respected, hopefully, especially from the boys of Ventura, because we all respect you guys, and we love you for doing us a solid and keeping our community safe. And that's all that matters, you know. So, big shout out for you guys. And yeah, do you guys have any final words to say? All yours.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I met you guys in this fire. I mean, it pulled us together. I mean, literally we got closer because of it, and I mean, if you know, I'm really glad Connor's alive, because he definitely had more of a near-death experience, and if
Right.
if he would have died in that Thomas Fire, you know, he would not meet him today, you know, and I'm really glad for that, and I'm glad he's like one of the boys and our brother, you know.
The wrong person would have gotten on the podcast.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't have been the same, bro.
Now on God, it would have been the same.
Could you imagine some weird drunk uncle being on the podcast just saying some random thing every 5-10 seconds that has nothing to do with the topic? I could.
Certificate.
That'd be like a hole that is in our podcast. Like, without you, it wouldn't be the Boys of Ventura. Without Brian, it wouldn't be the Boys of Ventura. Without Jesse, it wouldn't be the Boys of Ventura. Without me, it wouldn't be the Boys of Ventura.
I know.
I feel like all four of us connect, like, as a puzzle, and without one of the parts, it's nothing, you know?
It's incomplete. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
You're gonna be
exactly.
stuck looking for something to fix that.
There you go.
The dog's gonna eat it. Last piece.
We can just ship it off to Jesse.
See what you did there.
Yeah, but do you guys have anything else to say before we end this?
I'm really glad that
Um,
we were able to kind of share about our fire experiences. It's
Yeah,
something that
no,
was kind of um, issue and topic that was kind of native to mostly Southern Cal. If you're from there, you probably know, what it was like during um, that time when the Thomas Fire was going on, or just in general, whenever fire season does come up, you might think of the Thomas Fire and you might just think of like if your community was affected by it and just think of how you're able to pull together, because that's, a lot of people who call it Ventura Strong too. Um, we all made it, and with me and my other boys of Ventura colleagues, we were still talking about it. We were still talking about things in general. We're getting a lot closer now. Um, and after that experience, we've gotten stronger from it because that was just kind of like when we first knew each other a little bit, and now we know each other a lot more. Obviously, a lot of time has passed, and we know that we're probably never going to go through something like that again.
oh
Because
yeah,
yeah,
we
definitely.
didn't even know something like
definitely.
that was even possible, because the last time something as catastrophic as that happened was like before we were all born, of course, like in the
Yeah,
90s.
Expect the
Yeah.
unexpected.
hmm
Yeah.
exactly, bro.
Most of the time. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for my last words.
Brian, you got anything to say, bro?
Um, I'm grateful that no one died. You know, so many, damages happen, all over California. It leave a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people traumatized in a way,
Yeah.
Traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Jumped.
you know. You include our yearbook.
Yeah, that
For
was
that
pretty
year,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
they added the stories of, people near the experience,
Oh yeah, about that. Yeah, it was something.
Yeah, it was definitely a year not to forget.
Yeah, plus there was
Yeah.
more to come
Yeah,
because after the whole Thomas fire, there was like rainy season and it caused
Mm-hmm.
a lot of, floods.
Mudslides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right after
yeah.
that shit. So,
Who would know that after a fire would come rain, which caused a mudslide?
Mm-hmm.
wow, near
Exactly.
the holiday season. So,
Yep.
yeah.
And then I remember it was like rainy in Ventura for like up to like the first 5 months of the year, which is insane.
Right?
hmm
Yeah, like recently, fucking from what I've heard and seen, Aguilita, Santa Barbara, they were flooded the last like 4 or 5 days, and like I've seen cars half flooded to the point where you can't even see like almost the driver's side door or the
Dang.
passenger side doors. I wonder how like what even brought them to like even want to drive in that condition,
Yeah. It
because
ain't
you
no
can't you can't
tornado.
you can't say that you weren't expecting it, because if you see all this rain coming down you, especially hard like how it has been for the past 3-4 days, like you should know better than to drive on roads like that.
hmm
But if I was ever in that condition, I'd fucking go get a paddle, fucking paddle my way out of that shit with on top of my truck.
Hey, talk about early summer.
For real though, bro, it's giving me Hawaii vibes. Going through jungles with a fucking paddleboard and a paddle cruiser or whatever the fuck you call them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aloha, motherfuckers.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Um, but yeah, I guess that's all for this episode, guys. Appreciate your guys' support. It means a lot to me and the rest of the crew.
Me.
Like I said before, would like to say a big thanks to the first responders that helped us during the Thomas Fire and even through COVID. and through all the natural disasters that have occurred throughout the last century, because it definitely has kept us alive for a reason. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode. Please subscribe, like, share with your friends, share with people you love, because we are nothing but people who may have somewhat offensive humor, but we mean it in good intention, you know? So, yeah. Hope you guys have a great Christmas and Christmas Eve, and we will see you guys in the next episode. All right, bye-bye.
Everyone.
Bye.